Hello everybody and welcome. My name's Karen Marshall. I work for Touchstone and I'm delighted to be part of this virtual Pride event, Pride in Partnership, where lots of great people have come together and, please do have a look at everything that's going on this week and catch up on things you might have missed. During this time, we've all felt pretty isolated. I myself have been shielded, so it's been a really challenging time for us all. And we know as part of members of the LGBT community how important it is for us to have that sense of community and that sense of belonging. We also know that our community does face extra barriers and challenges around mental health issues, and this can only have been made worse really during this time as we've not been able to connect with each other in the same ways. A chat about our energy, and for me how I felt is that during this time I felt very out of control. So much around this that we can't control, and when we feel like that, the energy in our systems rises. My background is working with people in crisis all my life, but in my late 20s I started training in energy work and trying to stay well myself by keeping that energy moving. And what I do know is that the breath is really important. There's only a few things we can control. When we're feeling out of control, what we can control is how we react to things. So what can we control? We can control what we're breathing, how we're breathing. We can control the food that we're eating, what we're putting into our bodies generally, and that we're drinking enough water, but also that we're stretching and we're moving that energy. How do we ground ourselves? What is it for you that makes you feel connected again to your body in times of crisis? In times where we're feeling out of control, what can we do? We can really try and just look after ourselves and stay grounded and stay connected to our brothers and sisters. Hi, welcome back. So my name's Karen Marshall and I want to show you how to do a doing technique. It's an ancient movement, energy movement, and really it's about getting the energy flowing. So we all have tension in our bodies, stress and anxiety, and as we were saying, things that are out of control. So this is a really simple thing. It's best done on the morning really. So here I am in my garden, amongst the flowers. Little chill spot for myself, celebrating Pride in the garden. So I want you to start with, you need loose fists, so let me just show you what I mean. It's very loose and we're going to be tapping ourselves like this. Start on the top of your head. Got 27 or bones, I think it is, in the head, and each of those got connective muscles and tissues. And for those of us that grind our jaws or have a lot of tension, this is good for that. So getting the energy moving in the head, and then supporting your elbow, you're going to go into the opposite shoulder and really get into that tension that we all get in the back of the shoulders, in the back of the head and neck. So working your way into those. Be quite firm, because this energy that rises in all of us doesn't just move on its own. We need to tell it to get on its way. And then from there, move down out of your arm. So we're imagining that we're pulling that energy and moving it out of our arms. And then brush that off. So I like to think there's a pot in front of me, and all the energy that I'm pulling out that I don't really want, I'm getting moving, I'm going to throw it into that pot. So try the other side as well. This loose fist into the shoulders, One side might feel different to the other, but just notice how that feels. Back up. This area is the lung area. Take some deep breaths maybe into that. Do this a few times up and down to get the chi moving, get the energy moving. Okay, brilliant. Stroke that one off. Moving back to the head, using your thumbs, I want you to just rest your head on your thumbs there. I hope you can all see what I'm doing. It might be a bit painful, this. This is part of a point on your meridian that goes all the way down your back, right down the back of your legs to the floor. So with your thumbs, I want you to move along that eye socket. Taking your time and noticing how that feels. With a relaxed head. Does one side feel tighter than the other? And then backward circle on your temples. Just have a feel there. Is one side again a bit tighter than the other? Just unwinding. And keep that massage into the jaw. So this self-massage is really important, and obviously we can just do this for ourselves every day. So then the same technique under the cheeks, but using your fingers, just resting under your cheeks, moving along. If you feel any areas of tension, just give them a massage. Noticing how your own face feels. And then moving down to the top lip, working your way around all the muscles of your face. And as we connect with these points, what happens is the blood will rush to that surface and it will become more oxygenized, and the skin will feel better and more refreshed as the blood comes to that site. The cells will feel nourished. So then underneath our chins, this is a heart point in the meridians, just holding that point again, just resting your head on there. And moving your way along your jaws, noticing that tension and massaging it through. Lovely. If anybody's got problems with sinuses or anything, there's a really good point. 2 finger widths either side of your nostril under that cheekbone. Just putting pressure there and breathing through it will clear those sinuses. And the same if you've got headaches, that point that we started on there in the eyeballs, often when we've got headaches, we pull that point anyway. So just squeeze that point gently. And when we finish, let's just brush all this off and put it into our pot. Okay. So then, the energy started moving. With the loose fists again, I want you to be able to bend over. If you're sitting in the chair, just lean forwards and try and get as high up as you can on your back into the buttocks. So doing that, it's getting the energy moving in the back, and a lot of energy gets trapped in the hips if you don't move them enough. So give them a really good bash in the old buttocks. It's the biggest muscle of the body. We want it to move. And then go down the back of your legs. Back up the front. Just going a few times. Imagine that the energy is going back down to the earth. and brushing that off, feeling the feet back to the earth. And that is a 5-minute doing. Thank you for joining us. Please practice it, and happy Pride. Realised we were stressed about something after the incident, and that's part of the problem. We don't necessarily recognise when those stress reactions are happening. So I don't know if anybody's heard about cortisol. So when our bodies are faced with something that, as we said, makes us feel out of control or frightened in some way, your body reacts in that flight, fight or freeze. And I think there may be even flop. We all have that inherent reaction to our adrenal glands, and what cortisol does in our bodies is it sends cortisol from our brains rushing through our bodies, and we all have physical reactions. So, you know, when I do this in training, I ask people how many people in the room have ever felt like they'd had a panic attack, and 90% of people will probably say yes, they feel that they have. My advice really is that what is happening is it's not that you're having a panic attack, it's that cortisol is rushing through your body, through your bloodstream. And I just want you to take a minute and think for yourself, maybe write down how you think when you're stressed you react. Think about different parts of your body and what the feeling is when you become stressed, because when we start connecting with those early warning signs of stress, of those physical reactions, we can almost start using techniques and using our brain to switch that round and breathing into things. So when the cortisol is rushing round, our heart rate increases, the blood pumps faster. If we've all of us probably have witnessed some sort of trauma in our early childhood, and generally have a pattern of breathing only from our chest, shallow breathing. So in any sort of breathing techniques, you're encouraged to breathe beyond that into the belly and try and bring the air through your chest and then let go again. Because of that, when we're panicking, when the cortisol is coming round, the lungs feel tight. We protect our hearts, the lungs get tight, the heart beats faster, the blood is pumping. We're probably getting sweaty palms or sweaty somewhere else. We might get tension headaches, or the shoulders will rise, the fists will clench, the jaw will clench as that energy of flight or fight happens and that cortisol runs round. Some people, because they're not really breathing properly, might get pins and needles or tingles or something like that. And actually, if we all ask ourselves, that happens to us all at varying degrees of time. And recognizing when we're reacting to stress, what that early flight or fight sign is, stops it happening. Because if you're somebody who's had a lot of trauma, then you can be hyper vigilant. So you can always sort of be expecting something to go wrong. And at this time of COVID, when we are so out of control, it's really important that we recognise the effects on our bodies and when that cortisol is firing through us, because the best thing we can then do about it is try and step aside for a minute and just take 3 big breaths often in the situation, and already there's oxygen coming back into the bloodstream and things start easing off and dying off. Just take a minute to think about what you do yourself to feel grounded. How do you do it? What brings your energy down into yourself, into the ground? Is it being in nature? Do you have a practice of exercise that helps you feel grounded? Just seeing your family at this time, seeing family and friends, does that help make you feel grounded? Does having some routine in your life help? Just have a little minute to think about what you do. If you're comfortable to do so, just take your socks and shoes off, and if you're sitting down, just try and sit in a comfortable position and put your feet on the floor. If you want to lie down, you can do that too. And then just touch your hands, notice the connections around you, what you're feeling, what you're touching. And then just notice your breath. Notice the sensations in your body. Notice if you're uncomfortable anywhere. Is there pain? Just loosen that a bit. Just put your hands onto your belly. See if you can feel where your breath is coming from. Don't try and force it or push it. Just be still at this moment in time. Can you try and breathe into your belly? Breathe so that your hands on your belly are moving and your chest is gently rising. Many people believe that it's our mind that rules us, it's our heart that rules us. But in ancient Chinese medicine, our center is 3 fingers below our belly button, and it's this place that all martial arts come from, a lot of movement, qigong, kung fu, tai chi, all move from that central place. Really, when we talk about grounding, I've got my shoes and socks on. My mum goes mad at me because she's like, I can walk around with no shoes on because it helps me feel grounded, mum. So the best way to stand when we're trying to breathe into our bellies is feet hip width apart and gently relax knees. Just have a little bounce around. Rock from side to side. So my belly is moving across. Relaxing my shoulders, doing this. Spine is getting it. Breathing gently, being aware of my feet on the ground. So turn my head from side to side also. Just getting everything moving. So you can do as gentle movement as you want. You can move slowly and gently, or you can really get into the point where you're really good bounce and your arms are slapping to your side. So it's a good gentle warm up every day. Just a few minutes every day, feeling your feet on the floor, moving your shoulders, trying to bring the breath into it. And then just have a walk around. And as you do, tell yourself as you're walking, I'm putting my left foot down, my right heel, my right toes, my left heel, my left toe. Walk around your room or your space, just really feeling connected and telling yourself, I'm walking from my centre, my shoulders are relaxed, feet are touching the ground, and I'm out and proud. Deep breath in, relax the knees, and out as you're breathing in and out. In and out. Breathing in and out. Do this a few times with breath. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing out. And imagine that you've got rubbing your hands together. Can you feel the energy there? Imagine this movement that you've got a ball of energy as you're moving it round from one side to the next, bringing that energy round. Imagine you've got a big beach ball in your hands. You're moving it around gently, like a figure of 8. Soft knees, relaxed shoulders, and remembering to breathe. Coming back to centre. Thank you. We want to demonstrate to you now some of the same movements but from a seated position. So those of you that are not able to walk around, all of the stretching and all of the breathing you can still do when you're sitting down. So wherever you are, just find a comfortable place for you for this moment. And if you need these cushions, bring them in. So as you sit somewhere, just make sure you're supported by all the cushions so that your muscles aren't holding any tensions and you're able to just relax with the support of the cushions, all the muscles, so you're not actually having to hold up. Put something under your feet. If you're in a chair, wheelchair or something, put something under so that you're connecting. But do try and take your shoes and socks off, and if you can, get outside everyone. Get your feet in the grass, that'd be great. So get a comfortable position. And as we were doing in the other exercise, just gently breathing and noticing your own breath. No pushing, no forcing. Really, it's about noticing. Feeling the sensation of the breath as breathing in. And as you're letting go, you breathe out. Checking in with your body. If you need to make any adjustments, make them now. If you're feeling any tension, notice it. If you're feeling any worries, just observe them and notice them. And go back to focusing on the breath. Our minds will always wander off. That's okay. It's not about clearing the mind. It's just really about connecting with yourself here and now and your breath. So as we were doing earlier, just put your hands up, taking a few breaths into your centre. Got problems with one of your arms, just do it with one arm. If you can't do it, that's also good. Just place them where you're comfortable. Your hands on yourself. Gently put your arms by the side. Breathing gently in as you raise your arms up, whatever's comfortable for you, and then letting go with your out breath. Even if it's a really gentle movement that you can do, just try and connect your breath with that movement. Checking in that your shoulders stay relaxed, breathing in and breathing out. By doing this, imagine that you have a ball of energy at the centre that you're bringing up and then back to centre. Do this a few times on your own, your rhythm and your pace. Yeah, nobody's watching you do this where you're safe to do it. Back to centre on the next one. Place your hands gently on your belly and notice, just with those few breaths, do you feel any different? Are you more in touch with your body? Do you feel like you're calmer? Okay, and then moving through into the next movement, just comfortably get your hands by your side. We just want to give the spine a bit of a twist. You can do this as gently, as easily as you can. Just try and move your shoulders round. Still moving from your centre. Looking over your own shoulder. Bringing your arms into it if you're comfortable to do so. And remembering breathing in. Letting go when you breathe out. Thank you, Tanya, for being part of this one. And hope you try this at home. Happy Pride.